formula for a circle be applied to solve problems? Think about this question during the lesson. The floor for a new butterfly conservatory will be a circle with an 18-foot radius. The material for the floor will cost $3.95 per square foot. About how much will the floor cost? Apply the formula for the area of a circle to find the area of the floor. The formula is A equals pi times the radius squared. An approximation for pi is 3 14/100ths. And substitute 18 feet for the radius r. Simplify the expression. The area of the floor of the new conservatory is about 1,018 feet. Why round the area to the next whole foot? The flooring material may not be supplied in fractions of a square foot. Rounding the area up helps us make sure that there will be enough material to cover the floor. The next step is to calculate the cost of the flooring material needed. Which expression shows the cost?
Select your answer.
Multiply the cost per square foot of the flooring material by the total area of the floor in square feet. The product is equal to the total cost of the floor, which will be about $4,021. The total cost of the floor will be about $4,021. Now you know how the area of a circle is related to pi and its radius. At a school play, there is a spotlight above the center of the floor that covers a lighted area with a radius of 7 feet. What is the area covered by the spotlight?
Area is equal to a pi times the radius squared. So they use a fraction for the pi this time. And so we have the radius, which they tell us here in the picture is 7 feet. So we're going to do that 7 feet, put it here, and that's squared. So we have 7 squared is 7 times 7, which is 49. And so 22 and 7/10 times 49, that equals 22 times 49, we write it this way. Then you multiply straight across. So you got 7 times 1 is 7. 22 times 49 is 1,078. Then you divide it by 7, and that gives you 154 feet squared as the area of the spotlight.
The teens at the Youth Community Center are painting a logo on the wall. The logo is in the form of a circle with a radius of 5 feet. They completed painting 3/4 of the background of the logo. What area of the logo is painted? What area still needs to be painted?
So find the area of the circle first. Area is equal to pi r squared. And so 14/100ths times 5 squared. And we got the 5 from the problem because it says the radius of 5 feet. And then they found 5 squared is 25. Multiplied it, got 78 and 5/10. Next, you find the areas of the painted and unpainted parts. So the logo painted was 3/4 of the area. So 3/4 times 78. Again, we got 3/4 from here. Times 78 and 5/10, which is the area of the wall. And then The unpainted parts would be 1/4 because what's left over of 3/4 would be that 1/4. So that's the part that's unpainted. And you multiply that by 78 and 5/10 as well. And you get 19 and 625 thousandths. Conclusion. The area of about 58 and 875 thousandths square feet of the logo has already been painted, with about 19 and 625 thousandths square feet remaining. So it's multiple steps, but follow them and you'll get the right answer.
New grass in the circular pen for her chickens. What is the area of the pen? 176 feet of fencing surrounds the pen. Choose efficient methods to help you solve the problem. How can you use the circumference to find the information needed to calculate the area? Calculating the area of a circle depends on identifying the radius of the circle, r. By applying the formula for the circumference, we can find the radius. To find the radius r for the circular pen, substitute 176 for c in the circumference formula. Use the approximation 22/7 for pi. Use multiplication and inverse operations to simplify the equation. The radius r of the circular pen is about 28 feet. Now we can use the radius of the circular pen to find its area. Substitute 22/7 for pi and 28 for r. The area is about 2,464 square feet.
The signal of a radio station broadcast covers a circular area with a circumference of 754 miles. What is the area covered by the signal?
This is another multi-step problem, so let's think this through. They're asking us for the area, and we know the formula for an area of a circle is pi r squared. We don't know the radius. We know pi. They tell us here to use 3 and 14/100ths. So we know that, but we don't know what the radius is. But we can find the radius. They do tell us the circumference, which is 754 miles. And then we know pi. So pi is, they tell us to use 3 and 14/100ths r. So now we need to solve. So we have 2 times 3 and 1/4, and that will give us 6 and 28/100ths. So 6 and 28/100ths times, I don't have to do that, times r is equal to 754. Now we need to solve for r, so we're going to do the inverse, which is divide. So we're going to divide 6 and 28/100ths on both sides of the equation. That cancels out, so we have r is equal to 754 divided by the 6 and 28/100ths, which is going to be a long decimal, 120 and a bunch of numbers after it. But if we round to the nearest whole number, it'll just be 120. So let's go with 120. So now we take our radius and we apply it to the area formula, and we have 3 and 1/4 times 120 squared. That should be like that, squared. So now 120 squared is 120 times 120, and that is 14. You write it, 3 and 1/4 times 14,400 times 3 and 1/4. I keep saying 1/4. 3 and 14/100ths. That would give us the area of 45,216 miles. So that will be our final answer to the problem.